Confessions on the Dance Floor is often described as Madonna's return to club music, but that undersells what the album is actually doing. Rather than a simple exercise in nostalgia, tipping its hat to the dance music and synth pop of the 1970s and 80s, it treats the past as something still alive. Classic sounds and rhythms are combined with old myths and previous versions of Madonna, then fed back into the machine, not simply to preserve them, but to revitalize and reactivate them. Hello, I'm Shane, and this is Take 55 Sound, the sister channel to Take 55, where I discuss cinema. Here I talk about records through feeling, memory, theme, and symbolism. Released in 2005, Confessions arrived after American Life, a record that took on politics, celebrity, and public image directly, and left Madonna sounding unusually declarative. Confessions goes the other way. It strips things back to pulse, shine, and movement, as if whatever needed saying could be said through the body. And that idea is there and hung up from the first few seconds. Before Madonna even enters, the track is already measuring time, the ticking clock, the sense of waiting being wound tighter and tighter. The song starts from impatience and delay, but the music doesn't wallow in it. The use of ABBA's Gimme 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 isn't just repurposing a recognizable riff, it behaves like a memory caught in a loop, pushing the record forward. And that matters because Confessions is built to feel less like a set of separate tracks than one extended movement. The songs run into each other, the breaks and builds become part of the drama, and even the pop structures feel stretched out by the club setting. Hung Up still has the satisfying shape of a classic single though, including a proper bridge, but the production keeps pushing it forward as if the song is already being absorbed into the larger night of the album. Get Together takes that enclosed club atmosphere and turns it into storybook romance.
Do you believe in love at first sight? It's an illusion, I don't care.
That's the important twist. Madonna isn't presenting illusion as something to expose or escape from. She's choosing it. The track starts from bitterness and confusion, but as it opens up, especially through its breakdowns and returns, it becomes sweeter, as if the dance floor can turn emotional uncertainty into a temporary form of belief. The dance floor then becomes a place where illusion is chosen knowingly. You enter the room, accept the lights, the pulse, the repetition, the unreality. And for as long as the music lasts, that unreality becomes useful. Future Lovers pushes the record further into trance. Colder and sleeker than the songs before it, it draws on Donna Summer's I Feel Love, without turning it into pastiche. The point isn't the reference itself, but what the Moroder-style electronic engine does to Desire. Romance becomes less confession than surrender, with voice, beat and machine locking together until the body seems to fall into line. And this is why the album doesn't merely feel retro. Retro usually fixes the past at a distance. Confessions refuses that. It suggests that certain sounds remain available because they were never exhausted in the first place. And by the time the album reaches Jump, movement has become more than a musical feeling. It's now the subject. The song is a manifesto, but not a cozy one. It isn't saying everything will be fine if you follow your dreams. It's saying comfort can become a trap, and at some point you have to move before you're ready. It gives movement a kind of physical intelligence, reminding us that change often begins before understanding catches up. And Push takes that pressure inward. On the surface, it can sound like a love song, but the focus keeps shifting. Is Madonna singing to another person or herself? Is she really singing to her own ambition and discipline, the relentless part of her persona that simply won't let her give in or stop? The French symbolist poet Arthur Rimbaud once wrote, "I is another," a deliberately odd phrase that suggests the porous nature of identity, as if the self is never completely sealed or stable. Push works in that same space. The crossed vocal lines matter here because they make the track feel like a dialogue between inner voices. And that's where the album complicates its own euphoria. Movement can liberate you, but it can also become unrelenting. The same drive that gets you out of one life can start to feel like the thing that you can't escape. And Push understands that Madonna's willpower is not just a public image, it's a machine she has to live inside. The closing track, Like It or Not, doesn't arrive as a simple victory lap. And by this point, Madonna isn't simply asking to be liked, forgiven, or even understood. She's presenting the whole construction with her trademark mix of appetite, provocation, and spiritual imagery.
I'll be the garden, you'll be the snake. All of my fruit is yours to take. Better the devil that you know. Your love for me will grow because...
Temptation can be an invitation, but here it also becomes a form of control. The listener is free to desire, judge, accuse, worship, and even misunderstand. Addressed to adherents and heretics alike, Madonna has built the stage where all of this can happen. After an album of loops, filters, and club momentum, the record winds down with an acoustic guitar refrain, almost classical and intimate in feel. And it's a reminder that the body lives inside the machine. And that's where Confessions on a Dance Floor leaves us. Not with escape, but with embodiment. The confession isn't whispered in stillness, it happens in motion, under lights, through rhythm, until the past itself starts moving again.